You're well known for writing the biography of Shivaji.
Yes.
Challenging Destiny.
Yes.
So this is quite a leap of a book from Shivaji to Snehalaya.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah, so it is like this. Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj is a national, he's a national figure, leader. So I realized when I was writing for Khaleej Times, I was a columnist in the Gulf for the Khaleej Times, freelance, about health and disease. After working for 10 years writing weekly articles there, I wanted to graduate to writing a book. You know, it's a natural transition.
Okay.
So then I realized there are 250,000 books on Napoleon in English, and not a single biography which can be read by everybody written by an Indian about Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Though that also is not my subject. My subject is microbiology. So I run after my passion, not the subject. So I wrote I took about 15 years to get a publisher in that. And then I wrote several historical fiction published by Penguin Random House on the same subject, Mughal Maratha history. Then as the luck would have it, I had to leave my job and come and look after my parents in India, in Mumbai. And I realized that I inherited some property in Ahmednagar that time. I didn't know then. So I started coming to Ahmednagar. Meanwhile, my father passed away. And some of my relatives promptly put cases on me for the share of the property. They could have done it when my father was still alive, but they had to do it after he is dead and gone. So my trips to Ahmednagar increased, and it was always, I cursed myself why I am in this situation. But things happen for a purpose in life. And here, being many months I had to stay here with my mother. We had a small house in Ahmednagar. Then this is the time when I met Girish Kulkarni and Dr Girish Kulkarni and Dr Prajakta Kulkarni. So I realized the amount of work they are doing here in my own town, Ahmednagar. So it was like somebody, like if Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj impressed me, similarly, Dr. Girish Kulkarni impressed me with his work. So he became my passion. He became my muse. That is how the story started.
That's how it got started.
Yes.
When was the spark that you thought, I want to write about this?
So when I was attending, they had invited me since I was already an author, known author. So they had invited me for an adoption ceremony. Two couples, one Spanish couple and one Indian couple were adopting 2 kids. So I went to Snehalaya for that ceremony, and without me knowing, I asked Girish that, would you like to have a book in English about your work?
And what did he say?
Yes, of course he said yes. And I didn't realize what I got into, because it was a big job,
Of course.
So I jumped into it without knowing. And no, he did not give me entire information. I had to meet 100 people and dig the information out of them.
Were people forthcoming?
Yes,
with their stories?
Yes. I don't know, maybe it's my something in me that people just tell me from their heart, what they have. Maybe it is the simplicity in me, perhaps. That's all. A simple soul, that is what people like. You can't be tricky with them. You can't be torturing them emotionally. You have to be just straightforward, want to know their lives earnestly. Then they tell you. When I was writing the book, I did not know how the flow should be, you know. It was such a big, the entire project or projects were so many, and the entire matter was so big that I started finding it difficult to arrange the flow of the book. I kept on writing the pages, but how to make it interesting for a reader, and he or she or they should go with the flow of the book, which my editor helped me in doing so.
It's a very hard-hitting, often harrowing book. Was that your intention? Was that your aim?
No, my aim was to just show the reality. Now, my book is not harrowing. The reality is harrowing, you see. I just wrote about it. It is beyond my imagination to write such things. And it is stranger than fiction. So, my book is harrowing because the reality is harrowing on which the book is based.
I must admit, after certain chapters, I just had to take a breath.
Yes, many people told me.
Had to just take a breather and then go back to it.
Many people told me that.
Is there anything you found particularly challenging with writing the book?
Nothing actually.
No.
Nothing. Because I said, like what, you know, it was the laws I had to study and make sure the Indian laws. Now, I don't know about your English laws, but Indian laws are written in such a way that even lawyers take many years to understand. It is such a difficult law language. So what I found difficult, to make them simple, to make them simplified and digestible for the ordinary reader.
Sure.
You know, that is why. So now they say that, we have such great laws for sex workers. You know, the brothels are also illegal, and but prostitution is not illegal, so and so forth. I found that very funny, that law itself, that you can sell the flower, but you cannot display it, you cannot solicit it, and you cannot pluck it. How do you sell? And that makes a sex worker already a criminal in whatever he or she does.
I was very interested to read in your book that there's a report. They estimate around 20 million commercial sex workers.
Yeah, actually that figure ranges from report to report.
Why is that?
We don't know actually. Some say it is...
Because I hear different reports.
Yeah, so some say it is about, say, only even not even 500,000,
right.
And some say it is about say 20 million. We don't know. How do you count? Like, a lot of things happen behind closed doors, and lot of things which happen in you can count the street sex workers, but how do you count somebody who is doing in corporate? Or how do you count people who are doing in very affluent areas? I don't know. I think this is also my first time to get exposed to this world, you know, while writing the book. But I will tell you my encounter with one brothel owner called Musawat, whom I met at Shevgaon here in Ahmednagar district. So she was formerly very brutal, very harsh brothel owner. She had abducted or trafficked. She was involved in human trafficking, and she was also torturing some women. She has even killed, they say. We don't know. So what happened is that when I asked her, why did you do this? Why are you such brutal brothel owner? And why did you come in this place, in this trade in the first place? You could have done so many other things. So she said, what do you know, madam? Your stomach is full. You were born in an educated family. Who are you to ask me? So the thing is, there is a Jaikarwadi dam building. 100 acres of her family land went under the dam and they did not get any compensation. So they were Adivas, they were tribal people. So they lost everything. She said, my parents died of starvation, my 3 brothers and sisters died of starvation, and my mother on her deathbed had to give me away when I was 13. And nobody would take me for housework because they thought I am a thief. Displaced people are always looked down upon as thieves because they have no place to stay, they have no permanent address. What do you think I have to do? And who are you to blame me for making so much money? I asked her, you made palatial houses. He said, go ask the doctors and lawyers how they have made their money. Are they all, you know, not all white, all bright and all saint? Ask them. You don't have guts to ask them. You have guts to ask me. They are also brutal in their ways. So I am brutal in my ways. This is my profession. What else I would have done to survive? That was her answer.
Did you find that made you sympathetic to her despite her crimes?
I did. It did. Yes. It did. So, you know, there is a small verse in my book when victims become perpetrators with all their might. We cannot judge them. We have no right. So it hit me hard. Yes, in her position, what I would have done, I don't know. I have no idea.
How long did it actually take to write the book from beginning to end?
So I started in 2019, beginning, and it took me, I think the book finished in 2022. And it came in by publishers, then publishing work, editing goes on for 6 to 8 months. So it came out in, I think, March 2023.
So all these years, you must have just been absorbed by what you were doing.
Yeah, but I simultaneously always write 2 books.
Do you? I was going to ask you.
Yeah, always write 2 books.
Was it hard to switch off? Or?
No, it is always better to switch off, you know. It becomes too overwhelming.
I'm interested to know, in between each chapter, you have the very poetic type verses. Was that an afterthought? Did you put them in after you finished the book or after you finished each chapter?
No, it goes with the flow. I love to write with prose and poetry. So I like to mix. If I am allowed. So if you see all my historical fictions and if you see all my historical biographies, always there is a prose and then the poetry.
So what was the other book you were writing?
Immunity. The story of immunity.
This is the book you have out now?
Yeah.
Okay. So again, quite 2 different books.
Yeah, so it is always, yeah. It sharpens your mind like a knife.
No, I'm very interested by the front cover.
Yeah.
Here of the book. It's very emotive. It's quite atmospheric, isn't it? Very atmospheric.
So this was Mother in the red light district, you know.
Yeah.
This was done by a Calcutta artist. And Sakal Publications bought it from her, this particular picture. And there is a little girl who is little hopeful. This is what Snehalaya stands for, right? Yeah. A little girl who is hopeful. Even if she is born in a red light district, she is reading a book.
So the book is in English. I'm very lucky. I can read it.
Yeah.
Are there any plans to publish it in any other language?
Yes. So now there is. It's coming in Marathi now. There was a great actor called Sadashiv Amrapurkar, Mr. Sadashiv Amrapurkar, who hailed from Ahmednagar. His wife, Mrs. Sunanda Amrapurkar, she has translated this book in Marathi. And it is so gorgeous. She has used absolutely Ahmednagar Marathi. So it hits you very hard. And it should come by June or July.
And we'll widen the audience for it. It really deserves it.
Yeah, but English always has. See, what Snehalaya needed was a great documentation which is also entertaining in English to reach far and wide. You see? Because Marathi will be very, very useful, but at the need of the hour was in English. Just like Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, I wanted to take this national hero outside Maharashtra. That's why. Likewise.
It's such an important story,
yes,
for people to hear, and you've told it beautifully, and without any frills, shall we say. That's the way it is.
Yeah, it's not mincing.
Not mincing the words. The book is dedicated to Thai Power.
Yes, Thai Power.
Can you tell me a little bit more about her and why you decided to dedicate the book to her?
Sure. So when I was reading her story, Girish gave me a book in Marathi, which is written like she as if it is her. She has written it. I realized she and I are of the same age, and we did our school finishing in the same year. And there I was with my father being a good government official, class 1, and a lot of help in tuitions. And this girl, Thai Pawar, is staying in a small village, and she has no help, though she got 10% more than me. So I said, wow. And she already had done all the Hindi Pandita exams on top of that. And she had passed brilliantly in those two. So I said, see, just by a stroke of luck, I could have been her and she could have been me, or even better. So it's like she was me, I was her. So it was so similar, you know, that the entire life. I mean, later on it was like so different. Till the school, it was so similar. And after that, it was like, it is different planet. She's from another planet, I'm from another planet.
What happened to her?
So she was married off early and was very badly treated and beaten by her people, in-laws and husband, who she was subjected to marital rape, starvation. She was subjected to brutal beatings with the shoes on. She was almost on deathbed twice, and she had to come back to her home. Then she met another person. She was a good. She had a good job also in the middle. Then she fell in love. She was young. Again, that person cheated her. Then her mother died of cancer, and then she went to meet some relative somewhere, and somebody misled her and put her to brothel, sold her off for 2,000 rupees. That could have happened to anyone, any of us. It's just that, you know.
And she passed away?
She passed away, yeah.
So now you know a little bit more about Snehalaya.
Yeah.
What's your feeling for when you come back here and know a little bit more about it?
Yeah, so Snehalaya has become my home now. I lost all my family which I had in Ahmednagar to court cases. But God has given me such a beautiful family of 2,000 people who love me. I have a beautiful place to stay here. And I am truly blessed, you know, truly blessed. I can go to my grandkids at Kodaikanal, and I can go to my other son in Dubai, and then I can go to Bangalore to my house, and then fourth one is Snehalaya.
Do you have any ideas in your head of what will be the next book?
Yeah, already I am working on the daughter-in-law of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, Tara Rani, and how she vanquished Aurangzeb and the Mughal Empire, and how she actually finished Mughal Empire.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking the time.
And Nick, I'm so happy that people like you come here and help out Snehalaya. It is really, and you love it.
I do love it.
Yeah, so thank you so much.